Hello, fantasy owners, and welcome to Lift the Cup Fantasy, or LTC Fantasy as some call it. And today is our weekend ads episode, where we're going to look at players to help you over that weekend to hopefully push you over the top and get you that win in Week 17. Friday, there's only 4 games. Saturday, 8 games, and Sunday, 7 games. So every team that does play Friday, with the exception of Nashville, that only plays once on the weekend, plays twice. LA plays Friday and Saturday, and the other 6 teams play Friday and Sunday. So we're going to cover all 8 of those teams since it is the lightest night. Then we'll cover the other 4 teams that play both Saturday and Sunday to hopefully maximize on value. So on the weekend ads, you're getting them for 2 games for the most part, unless you pick up a Nashville guy, and hopefully maximize value on your remaining player ads for the week. Please do remember to check the description, because I will mention in the timeline where to look for Friday defensemen, Friday forwards, and then also the other 4 teams where to look for the Saturday, Sunday teams, defensemen, and forwards. And if you need to go back and come back to the episode because one day you're looking for forward defensemen, please remember to subscribe. That way it's easier to find the video, look in the description, get to that portion of the episode that you do need, and hopefully push you over the top for that win. So we'll jump right into it for Friday D-Men. From Nashville, I look at Alex Carrier, only owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that second pairing in Nashville. Year to date, he has 19 points in 45 games played, but currently he's on a 4-game point streak with 4 assists, so he's definitely trending in the right direction, and Nashville's notorious for having point-producing defensemen. Next one's Matthias Ekholm from Nashville, owned in 27% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that second pairing with Carrier, and also mans the second power play unit. He only has 15 points in 44 games played, but career-wise, he's always been right around that 40 to 45 point defenseman, and he has been trending in the right direction, having 4 points in his last 6 games played. Next is Jacob Slavin from Carolina, owned in 58% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top pairing and second power play unit. Year to date, he has 25 points in 44 games played, and he also has 3 points in the last 4 games, so he's been really having a very solid season there. Next is Ryan Suter from Dallas, owned in 19% of Yahoo leagues. He does have 19 points in 46 games played, so down a little bit, but he does have 2 points in the last 3 games played, so definitely trending in the right direction. I would also take a peek to see if John Klingberg comes back. His ownership is a lot higher at 69%, and he has missed the last couple of games. But if he is back for the weekend, definitely take a peek to see if he's available. Next is Gustav Forsling from Florida, owned in 18% of Yahoo leagues. He has 21 points in 38 games played, and if plus minus is considered, definitely take a look at him because he's plus 24 on the year. And it gets even a little bit better. In the last 11, he has 6 points, so roughly around the same production. But in those 11 games, he has 17 shots on goal and is a plus 11. So he's definitely on the ice when a lot of goals are scored for his team. Last one is Alex Goligoski from Minnesota, owned in 32% of Yahoo leagues. Year to date, he has 25 points in 39 games played. He is pointless in the last 6, but before that, he had 8 points in the previous 8 games, so definitely take a look at him. Another one to look at from Minnesota is Jared Spurgeon. He's owned, I believe, in 55% of Yahoo leagues, and he does man the first power play unit. Moving along to Friday forwards, I look at Victor Arvidsson from LA, listed as left wing, right wing, only owned in 43% of Yahoo leagues. He does play on the second line and second power play unit. Year to date, he has 29 points in 40 games played, but in the last 3 games, he's had 4 points, so definitely take a look at him. Next one is Adrian Kempe from LA, listed as left wing, right wing, only owned in 38% of Yahoo leagues. Does play on that top line with Kopitar and on the first power play unit. And year to date, he has 28 points in 44 games played. And of those 28 points, 19 of them are goals. So if goals are weighted a little bit heavier in your league, definitely take a look at him for the weekend. And he does have 8 points in the last 11 games played. Next one from LA is Alex Iafallo. He's listed as a left winger, only owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues. Does play on that top line with Kopitar and is also on the first power play unit. Year to date, he has 28 points in 45 games played. So his production is probably a little bit lower than you'd like to see, but decent enough for a weekend streamer. Next one's Mikael Granlund. From Nashville, listed as center right winger, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues. Does play on the first line and first power play unit. And year to date, he has 39 points in 46 games played. So he's had some really good production this year, just a bit under a point per game. And he has 6 points in the last 7 games played. Also from Nashville, if you're in need of a streamer and these ones aren't available, I'd look at Ryan Johansson, just because he does play on that first power play unit and has been having a pretty good year so far. Next one is Dylan Strome from Chicago, listed as center right winger, only owned in 13% of Yahoo leagues. He does play on that top line with Kane and on the first power play unit. And year to date, he has 21 points in 36 games played, but he's really turned it up of late, having 11 points in the last 10. Next is Brandon Hagel from Chicago, listed as left winger or right winger, only owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, so basically available everywhere, is playing on the second line and first power play unit. Year to date, he has 27 points in 43 games played, so a little bit lower but decent. And he does have 7 points in his last 7 games played, so he's definitely been trending in the right direction. Next one is Jamie Benn, listed as center left winger, owned in 60% of Yahoo leagues, does play on the second line and second power play unit. Year to date, he has 22 points in 46 games played, so low, but that second line has really been producing of late, and Ben's no exception, having 5 points in the last 5 games played. Another one is one of his line mates on the second line, that being Denis Gurianov, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 13% of Yahoo leagues. His production's similar. He has 21 points in 41 games played, so a little better point per game average, but he also has 5 points in the last 5 games played. Next one is Carter Verhaeghe from Florida, listed as center left wing, owned in 62% of Yahoo leagues. He is playing on that second line and second power play unit. Year to date, he has 37 points in 46 games played, so really nice production, and he does have 4 points in the last 5 games played. One of his teammates, Anton Lundell, listed as a center, owned in 29% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the third line and second unit power play. Year to date, he has 32 points in 43 games played, and he's really been hot of late, having 14 points in the last 12 games played. As I've mentioned in a few episodes now, how nice it is to have a third line center averaging over a point per game in that kind of stretch. Next one is Chandler Stevenson, listed as center left winger, owned in 61% of Yahoo leagues. With Eichel back, he has been practicing on the third line, but he with Marchessault. Year to date, he has 33 points in 43 games played, which is really nice production considering most of the year he was supposed to be playing with Stone and Pacioretty, and either one or both of them has been out pretty much all season, and he's still been producing. So definitely take a look at him. Next one is Evgeny Dadonov. He's listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 10% of Yahoo leagues, is playing on that top line and top power play unit. Year to date, he has 21 points in 46 games played. So his production is a little bit low overall for the season, but the last time he had a stretch of games where he played on the top line, he averaged right around a point per game in that stretch, and if he stays on that top line with Stone on LTIR now, I'd definitely look at Dadonov to pick it up. Next one is Matthew Boldy from Minnesota, listed as left winger, owned in 22% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the second line and top power play unit, and since being called up from the minors, he's averaging over a point per game. He has 14 points in 13 games played. Next one is Frederick Gaudreau from Minnesota, listed as a center, only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, so available anywhere. He was listed as centering the second line. That was with Foligno out with a suspension, so he'll probably drop down to the third line. But year to date, he has 19 points in 38 games played, So a little bit low, but he's been really hot of late, having 8 points in the last 7 games played. Moving along to other D-men that played 2 games this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, I look at Shane Gostisbehere from Arizona, owned in 39% of Yahoo leagues, plays on the top pairing and top power play unit, and he's had a really solid season in the desert, having 28 points in 48 games played to go along with 67 blocks and 90 shots on goal. He has been pointless in the last 4, but before that he had 4 points in the previous 4 games. Next one is Jacob Chikrin from Arizona, owned in 54% of Yahoo leagues, does play on the second pairing and second power play unit. His production's really dropped off this year after he was so hot last year. He has 11 points in 37 games played, but he does have 54 blocks and 116 shots on goal, so there is a little bit of value there with his secondary stats with that scored in your league, and he has been better of late, having 3 points in the last 5 games played. Next one is Henry Jokiharju from Buffalo. Hope I said that right. He's available everywhere, owned in 0% of Yahoo leagues, but he has been recently moved up to the top pairing and being used on that second power play unit. He has 11 points in 31 games played, but he's been really good since being paired with Dahlin. He has 5 points in the last 8 games played. Next one is Evan Bouchard from Edmonton, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues, and playing on the top pairing and top power play unit. He's really taken the reins in Edmonton, outside of Nurse, but taking the jobs away from Barrie, etc. Year to date, he has 26 points in 46 games played, to go along with 66 blocks and 110 shots on goal. Now moving on to forwards that play both Saturday and Sunday. Look at Clayton Keller from Arizona, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 48% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top line and top power play unit. Year to date, he has 41 points in 48 games played, so really good playing in Arizona, and he's been even better of late, having 13 points in his last 11 games played. Another one is his line mate, Nick Schmaltz, listed as center right winger, only owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, so basically anywhere he's available. Plays on that top line and top power play unit. Year to date, he has 19 points in 29 games played, so not too bad. But in his last 9 games played, he's averaging a point per game, having 9 points. Moving along is Phil Kessel from Arizona, listed as a right winger, owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues. He plays on that second line and second power play unit. Year to date, he has 32 points in 48 games played, and he's been a little better of late, having 5 points in his last 6 games played. Moving along to Buffalo is Tage Thompson, listed as center, left wing, and right wing, so I do like when you can place them anywhere in your forward lineup. Only owned in 38% of Yahoo leagues, plays in that top line and top power play unit. Year to date, he has 33 points in 43 games played, but he's been really good in his last 9, having 10 points in those 9 games. Basically we're covering Buffalo's top line here. Next one's Jeff Skinner, listed as left winger, owned in 21% of Yahoo League. He has 34 points in 45 games played. Of those 34 points, 20 are goals, so if goals are weighted higher, definitely take a look at him. And he has 143 shots on goal. All he does is fire that puck at the net, and he has 10 points in his last 7 games played. The rest of the top line is Alex Tuck, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 40% of Yahoo leagues. He was injured pretty much the whole first half of the season. He's gotten into 15 games now, and he has 17 points in those 15 games, so averaging over a point per game. Next one is Zach Hyman from Edmonton, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 66% of Yahoo leagues, so his ownership is up there, but available in about a third of leagues, and he has been moved back up to the top line with McDavid. He has 27 points in 47 games played, and of late, he has 6 points in the last 7 games played. Next one is finish off that top line, because you aren't getting McDavid. It's Jesse Puljujarvi, listed as a right winger, owned in 36% of Yahoo leagues. And year to date, he has 26 points in 44 games played. That has a lot to do. He was dropped down to the third line towards the end of Tippett's tenure, and now he's back up on the top line, so he should trend in the right direction, because when he was up there, he was producing at the start of the year. Next is Tim Stützle from Ottawa, listed as center left winger, owned in 42% of Yahoo leagues. Year to date, he has 23 points in 44 games played, but he is centering that top line and manning the first power play unit with Batherson out for a couple of months, so I'd definitely take a long look at him. Next one is Connor Brown from Ottawa, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 18% of Yahoo leagues, and his stats kind of jumped out at me when I was looking at it. Didn't realize it. 24 points in 31 games played, so he's just a bit under a point per game. And of the last 6, he's been over a point per game, having 7 points in the last 6 games. We'll be out in a couple of days with our Week 18 strategy episode, so do watch out for that. If you did like this episode, please hit like. Remember to subscribe and remember that notification bell so you get notified on future episodes. And good luck in Week 17, fantasy owners.